smelling right, luscious lips, dancing as you walk. Going on, welcome to the Big D channel. This is the Daily Divorce News Show. We finna get into it today, see what's popping. Gotta say thank you to my guy G for the nice bucket hat. He shot me the primes as well. So we doing it big. All right, but let's get into it today. You know how we do here. We talk about divorce. We talk about the end of relationships. A lot of people don't really, think about that when they jump into the relationship. But this is a channel to kind of let you know how things go when it's over. All right, so we're going to jump in here, see what kind of things people is going through. We have fun on here. We smile, we laugh. And sometimes we have to kind of look and go, wow, like that's a crazy situation. So I try to mix it up just a little bit so that you don't be bored with it, all right? So try to give you a little bit of everything, all right? But we're going to get into this one here. It's kind of interesting. They need some help. So Silly Finance 8492 says, we need some help. We need some advice about my marriage and divorce. Hi everyone, I need some help and advice regarding my situation. I've been in a relationship since October 3rd, 2022 and married since June 18th, 2024. So the relationship really is not super long. You know, they've been together, just a couple of years now, a couple of years and a couple of months, and looks like married since June 18th. So, I mean, that's not even half a year. So we're going to see what happens. The person I married was undocumented. So she couldn't work or build a life here. Since we got married, we have been waiting for her paperwork to be processed. Now, that's kind of normal. That's the normal process, right? You marry somebody who is undocumented. They're going to eventually get their documents. It's going to take a little bit of time. So that's to be understood. But it's been less than 6 months. So let's see what's up. Yesterday, she told me that she wants to end the relationship. Well, it ain't that interesting. Not even 6 months in, she wanted the relationship to be done, but she's probably gonna get the benefits though. Let's see what happens. The issue is that we're living together and I don't know what to do next. Should I just leave? How do I handle the divorce process? She said she doesn't want to divorce until she gets her paperwork, which I somewhat understand. Oh, I understand too. What you think she's trying to do? Hey, boy, it's scandalous out here. However, I want to get away from her as soon as possible. This is advisable. I've been paying for everything since day one, and when we got married, we agreed not to share finances. Sorry about that. You got the little, this show is al vivo, we live. So, you might have a lot of sirens and things going off. It is what it is. Does anyone have advice on how to handle this situation? How can I approach this practically and legally? Any tips would be appreciated. So my boy looked like he got into a situation. That's how it is. I'm out here in Brazil or whatever. We all kind of have that question in our mind, like, what does this person really want from us? Do they really want us, or do they want what comes with being with somebody from the US? And that could be a real tough one. So it's like you got to kind of gauge it. You can't not live your life, but you got to kind of jump out there sometimes on faith and hope that it works out. And I've seen a bunch of situations where it didn't work out. I got a friend who married a guy. She married a guy from Africa or whatever and brought him over to the United States, and boom, inside of a couple years, he skedaddled. You know what I'm saying? He, get the bright eyes, see everything looking shiny, and boom, he's out. And then I had another dude I remember I met way back even before I was married, when I first moved to Orlando, and he went to Poland, checked out this girl or whatever. They'd been talking for a minute, and he brought her over here, her and her kid, let her live in his house and all that stuff. He went to live with his brother, and she wilded out. She did get a job or whatever, and then she started bringing home people from the job, partying and stuff in his house, and then she started, seeing other dudes and stuff like that, and she living in the man's house. So, and he's paying for everything. So it's like, they never got married or whatever. is some of them, they just can't wait. They jump and run so fast that, they trying to just get out of the situation because now they got the ticket, like my boy said yesterday, to get the ticket to the amusement park, and they off to the races, they running. So, you got to be real careful with that. But, he's been paying for everything since they got together. She can't make a living. She can't do nothing. She can't pay for her own living situation. And so he's paying for everything, and he's taking care of her. He's doing everything, making sure she got a roof over her head, making sure she cool, and making sure life good for her. And this is the repayment that he gets. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying ain't he right, because, there's always three sides to every story. We hearing one side of the story. He didn't say much about what he got going on or what he's done or what he's contributed to it. That's something that we cover here on the Big D Show. We're not going to let us just tell one side of the story. We got to tell both sides of the story, right? So, because if you want people to help you, you got to give the whole story so they can help you the next time out when you up the bat and you trying to do this marriage thing or you trying to do this relationship thing. You got to check out yourself. You got to, you got to, work on yourself a little bit to make sure that you're not a contributing factor to the whole situation. So yeah, he gonna have to work that out. Looks like he probably gonna be stuck with her for a little bit. It's nothing he could do. He kind of got himself in that situation and now he's got to get out. But this is what I'm talking about. And this is why we have this channel, because I want people who maybe not married and maybe trying to go into it to just have their eyes open about what can happen and what the things that people actually go through, because it's real out here, man. So, the things that you think ain't gonna happen, they tend to happen. So if you're going into it, you at least need to have your eyes open. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't go into it. I think a lot of people kind of go like the other extreme, like, don't ever marry, don't ever do this, that, and the other. But you got to check out your own situation, make your own decision about what you're gonna do. But you at least need to have all the information, and our job is to try to get you enough information to make a good decision. So let's check out In Divorce. Let's see here. No, that's not that one. Yeah, The Missing Muse. It says, anyone who says it gets easier is full of shit or is in another relationship. 6 years later, and I'm just so freaking done, feeling empty, broken, naked, alone. We are meant to be with someone, to love them and be loved unequivocally. Share idiosyncrasies together, make up words that we only understand. Life is meant to be spent with a partner, lover, best friend. We are not meant to be solitary creatures. My therapist and I recently discussed there are different levels of suicidal ideation. And honest to God, I wish I could just be done. Wow. I'm so freaking done crying and dreading every holiday season. Now, he's using some more stronger words in there or whatever. I'm just trying to temper it a little bit because I don't know about the monetization and all that kind of stuff. So I got to kind of be careful what I'm saying here. But wow, this is a deep situation, because you can hear like the pain just through the words. Just how he described himself: empty, broken, naked. As a man, normally, in our masculinity, that's not how we refer to ourselves. And it takes a lot for us to kind of get down to that level where we're going to express ourselves in that way. So I feel the dude, like, he's really feeling it. He don't really say how old he is. He don't say how old he is or whatever. It might be somebody who's older, maybe. But he said he's only been in a relationship like 6 years. So it could be somebody older, it could be somebody younger, you know what I'm saying? So, but his ideal for life is someone who wants a partner, somebody who's, a little bit romantic, a person who's going, be there on your side and take vacations with and share all these memories with. He's looking for more traditional marriage and relationship and really being close with his partner. So, it's hard when you can't find that. And I think that's something that we got to kind of touch on here on the channel. Is like, how do you get past when you're in a relationship with somebody, maybe long term, you kind of spent a lot of time, invested a lot of effort into being with this person, and all of a sudden it's over, and now you kind of got to start over again, and you ain't really catching on. Nobody's really catching on to you right away or whatever. I mean, I've gone plenty time without nobody in my life. You know, I've gone a lot of time. I'm picky, number one, not just out for anybody. I'm a little bit introverted, number two. So I'm not just gonna be in everybody's face, and I'm not like the person that's gonna be out in the clubs or just, you know, out places just talking to people. People tend to talk to me anyway, and it just be, you know, they be going on and on and on and on. And I don't be liking to talk to that. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, there could be a lot of factors why you not meeting somebody, why you don't have somebody right now, but there's somebody for everybody. Trust me, there's somebody for everybody. Sometimes the people that want us, we don't want them. And sometimes the people come along that we want, they don't want us. You got to learn to kind of deal with that, try to live through that, and just find yourself. All I can say is get busy, you know, get busy with things, improving yourself. And that improvement doesn't have to be something like you sit down and write out a plan all the time. Oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Sometimes it does, because maybe it's business oriented. Maybe it's some hobby or something that you're trying to do and it requires some planning and organization. But get busy in your life, man. Get out here, travel, man. You know, this is why we say get your passport, right? You know, get your passport, get out here, some other countries and stuff, see something different. You know, if that's something that you could do, go ahead and do that, because you might find out, like, your soulmate's not right in your neighborhood. Your soulmate might not be in your city or state. You might got to get out there and move around and shake a little bit in the world, and then, you know, you might find somebody good. But, you know, it's rough out here too. It's never gonna be sweet. It's never gonna be easy. You know, you gonna run into, you know, a lot of frogs or whatever before you find the princess. You know, so don't think it's gonna be easy. But if this is what you're looking for, and, you know, then you can find it. You know what I'm saying? You just got to put your foot forward, getting yourself together to the point where you can, you know, you could do that. You know, but, you know, he's going to therapy. He talks about his therapist or whatever, him discussing his situation, but they're talking about suicide and all that kind of stuff. I get that, but suicide is never worth it. Definitely, if you're feeling those thoughts or whatever, go get some help. I felt those thoughts even as a young kid, as a teenager. Stuff that I was going through back then is like, you know, you just feel like it's not worth it to keep living. But trust me, it's so much out here in the world, man. All I say, come to Brazil, man. Come to Brazil. Look at the beauty going on around here. Look at the beautiful women. Look at the beautiful water. The natural, you know, beauty of Brazil is just crazy. Like, go see the world. Go see the world a little bit. You're going to want to stick around, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, that's a serious subject, so we're going to cover it seriously here. You know, it's ways to get around that, you know what I'm saying? Yo, sorry to interrupt the show. Not really, though, because I got to make this quick announcement for you. If you like what you're seeing and you like the show, give me a like and a subscribe. I'm trying to get to a 0.5 M. Get this crypto up, get this monetization up. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna duck off somewhere quiet. Yo, this world a little crazy right now. All right, so let's see. We got another one that's it's a little long, so I'm gonna jump right in here. It says, this wasn't my choice. My experience was one of the sudden and catastrophic implosion of a 10-year marriage that has been magically good the overwhelming amount of time. So I feel him on that, because mine was like 15 years and wasn't bad, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that it was coming the way it did, but you know, sometimes it's a surprise. But I'm recognizing that my experience and hers differ. So that's something that we got to consider, right? Maybe we looking at it one way from one angle and they looking at it from another. We two different people, you know what I'm saying? So we both got feelings. So I'm also realizing that the presence of another person looms like an unseen force in her actions. I can't prove it. I don't even want to prove it, but I can see his shadow. So there you go right there. That's the thing. Like, we two different people, and then if there's a third party involved, you ain't got no control over that. You know what I'm saying? You might be, just being influenced by something on the outside that you can't see. So don't ever discount that. When you're having problems, that's something that you gotta look for. Nevertheless, my goal is to have the best possible divorce for our child. We have done above average so far. We both have lawyers now, and the ugliness is about to begin. I love her, but I won't be a cuck. That's a good thing right there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, you gotta keep your dignity, you gotta keep your manhood, you know what I'm saying? You still the big D, right? It's the Big D show. We still walk with the big D. Don't forget that. You know what I'm saying? When she made it clear that reconciliation isn't on her agenda, probably because of the third party, then I knew my safety and future was in my hands alone. That's something that, that's a great statement, because that's something a lot of people don't think about. It's like, think about even just your personal safety. I mean, I see stories here all the time where just men and women just, kill each other. They really off each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, in these relationships or whatever, I'll just be seeing stuff sometimes. I'll be like, yo, like, it really make you think, like, yo, your safety could really be in jeopardy. So you got to watch out, But he did move out. I paid for the best attorney I could find. I made it my mission to fight for what I feel I deserve. And immediately she changed into a cold, calculating creature that will assassinate my character and work the system to her benefit. Hey, you're not never gonna get away from that. Once it turns out like people ain't dealing with you like that, just the human nature is to really kind of turn on you and just really become a snake. So if you get snake bit, this is why. It ain't nothing to do with you. This is just a human nature. It's like they gonna change on you. She is telling some version of the story and puts me in a position where good friends are backing away, of course, because they need somebody to co-sign. They need somebody to say, oh yeah, you right, and he's wrong, and he's a terrible person or whatever like that. But remember, what we talked about before, they only getting one side of the story. They ain't getting the other two parts to the story. So we got to see, he ain't really telling his, what he's done so much. He's making it look like he's a good guy too. So that's what they're going to do. And he's making her look bad too. So, she doing the same thing on her side. That's just the nature of it. So can't really read into that too much. So she said, I don't know the full details yet, but it will come. She's claiming to only make $35,000 a year from her business when it's at least 5 times that. Oh, so she want to hide the assets and she don't want to pay that money out. So she, through her attorney, attempted to schedule the first court appearance during a work trip I cannot miss. So she playing dirty. Yeah, she trying to get you, bruh. She trying to get you. So you got to stay on your P's and Q's with this one for sure. I don't think she just turned into this person. I think she always been this person, but you just maybe didn't see it or you ignored the red flags. But if she's cunning and conniving like this right now, she always been that way. It's probably things you ain't even see what's happening while you was married or whatever. This is why she got a third party. Probably always been a third party. You just never know. She's seeking spousal support and the forced sale of the home. He says he got a VA loan with the lowest rate in history. VA loans is dope. You're gonna have a nice rate for that, and she about to mess it all up. See, here go to finance. He talking about his safety, now he's talking about the finances and how that could be affected. So it's not a good thing. In other words, the second I stood up for myself, she became the worst version of a divorced partner and co-parent. It's incredible to watch, but I will not bend. Not only will I stand firm in guarding my own interests, but I will not stoop to her level. I will not bow to temptation to see her only as her worst self. I will continue to lead with love and compassion, if only to model to my child and all the friends and family watching from the sidelines that I certainly contributed to the breakup. Okay, here we go a little bit. But I'm also not the sole cause either. He's not the character that she claims he is. I'm me. The sadness and the loneliness, rejection and fear will not make me retreat. So, yeah, that's a situation where you kind of want to protect your reputation a little bit. It is kind of good maybe to take the high road, protect your reputation, be who you are, be a good person. People will recognize that. They'll be able to see that. Eventually, the truth always comes out. That's the thing that you got to remember. The truth will come out no matter how they try to kick dirt on your name, try to kick you while you down, try to make you look like the bad person. It always comes out. If they really malicious and they got bad intent for you, it's always going to come out. You ain't got to worry about it. It's going to be something that come out. So, I hope homeboy can get through it. Sounds like they got a lot to work through on the financial end. And with the way she's acting, it's going to be rough for him for a while. But what y'all think? Like, have you been in a situation where it's been a situation where you thought she was one way, and then when it ended up, breaking up or whatever, she really turned out to be something different? I kind of didn't really go through that with mine. So, we went for our divorce hearing, the final ruling or whatever on it. And even her attorney looked at me and said, man, I can't even believe y'all getting divorced. Like, y'all don't look like y'all supposed to be getting divorced because y'all just cordial and civil, but it don't go like that for everybody. So, that's why we're here to talk about it on the Big D Show. All right, so let's get into this one here. This is going to be our last one for today. It's from a female perspective. Let's get into this and see what she got to say here. I don't got her name right here. I like to kind of say the name sometime, give a little shout out to them, but I don't got her name. So she 34 years old, female. She was determined to remain friends post-divorce. So she a little bit different than the other one, right? The girl that we just talked about. I did great PR to our families. Nobody cheated. We outgrew one another. I left him, now 37-year-old male, 6 years ago. Okay, so it's been a while, right? So this is post-divorce. So this is cool because we get to see something not right in the thick of the battle or whatever. We get to see something a little bit further back, from everybody stepping back from that point. And 6 years later, let's see what's going on. But I started going to therapy recently, and it unearthed some memories. We only had one child in that 6-year marriage. My therapist asked me why we didn't try for another, and I jokingly told her I hated being pregnant. That's possible. Most women don't really frame it like that. But I guess, we full of emotions, different range of emotions, and she hated being pregnant. So let's see what's going on. She dug deeper, and I recalled the memory where I was in the hospital, and I was in active, unmedicated labor, screaming and crying, okay? My ex-husband came to the side of the bed right near my face and said my noises were turning him on. I said, okay, this is taking a turn right here. I ain't expect. Woo. Okay, so then he pulled his joints out and asked for oral sex. Bruh. Still having full contractions, I screamed at him and told him to get away from me. I bet you she did. What is you doing, bruh? You see what's happening, like your child being born, and you just gonna pull a joint out and like put it in her face or whatever kind of, where they do that at. Come on, man. What is you doing? What is you doing? I'm surprised he was able to even have a kid with her. Like, he got to be doing, if he doing that, if he would do that, he was doing some other stuff at some point or whatever. I think she just missed it or whatever, but to do that, for real? And where was the doctors and the nurses? So what the hell really going on? Anyway, I screamed at him and told him to get away from me. He laughed, pulled his pants up, and sat on the other side of the room. Now, I think if she could have got up from that bed, she probably would have smashed him out. So he wouldn't have been sitting in that room, for real. I buried that memory so deep in my brain, made excuses for it. Said he was just young and childish. Okay, so they were young people at that point in time. But she 34 now, he 37, he was 3 years older than her, so it don't seem like there's really no excuse for that kind of behavior. That's kind of crazy. I've heard some wild stuff about, delivery rooms and stuff like that, but this wild, you know what I'm saying? So the therapist made me acknowledge it was abusive, and I deserved to be comforted and cared for in childbirth and not propositioned for sex. Pregnancy wasn't bad, he made it bad. And now I'm remembering so many more instances of abuse through the years. What I tell you? I told you something was going on prior to that she was probably excusing, walking away from, and not really paying a lot of attention to, or just excusing away and letting him get away with, for him to feel like he could just do that to her in that moment or whatever. Whether he was joking or whether he was dead serious, it's still not, there's a time and place for everything, and it's a lot of immaturity going on there. So that's what I felt like. I felt like, you don't just wake up and do that one day, be a responsible person and do that. You know what I'm saying? You've been doing stuff. So, she said she buried these things, in herself, and she told nobody. That happens to us a lot as people. We tend to take our traumas and our things that we go through and kind of bury them deep. As men, we really go through that a lot. We don't have a lot of people we could talk to, but I encourage you to have some friend or whatever, get you a best friend or somebody that you really can trust, and, put it out there, or, come on the Big D Show and talk to us or whatever like that. We're not going to make light of your situation. If it's something funny, we're going to laugh about it, because that's part of it too. That's part of the healing process. When I was getting divorced two of my other boys was getting divorced at the same time, and then we had a friend that was single that had never been married. So it was four of us. We getting together, having barbecues and stuff at the house on Sunday, and we would just sit down or whatever, laugh, chat, whatever, talk through our situations. One of these brothers, like, his wife left him for a woman. So that was a different situation. The other dude, one of my good friends or whatever, his wife and him was kind of butting heads or whatever like that. And, she just kind of went back to her family. And my ex cheated or whatever. So we all had these different kind of situations or whatever. So, like, the conversation was really dynamic. We was able to get together and kind of chat about it. And that helped me through the situation because I realized I had like a little bit of a support team there. So if you don't have that, you can come on this show, talk to us, man. Talk to us and see, see what's going on. I want to do some interviews with people. So, don't feel like, you can't come on and express yourself or whatever. If you feel like that might be something good for you, come on the show, man, and talk to us. So we're going to let you go here. I know I've been going on a little long here or whatever, so I'm going to get into some more things today. Got lots going on today, so hopefully you're enjoying the shows. Check us out. Hopefully they get better. I'm just learning, I'm walking and learning as I go, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to be perfect or whatever, so, that ain't the point. The point ain't to be perfect. The point is to be present. So, all right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. It's the Big D Show, Daily Divorce News. Ciao. Skin popping, smelling right, luscious lips, dancing as you walk.